So let's move to the 1980s and proudly recognize the Graffi family. Dave, Jon, and Mike, whose name has become synonymous with excellence with the Laurier football program. Mike was a linebacker and an OUA All-Star. He played here from 1978 until 1980. He also played with the Ottawa Rough Riders and Hamilton Tiger Cats in the Canadian Football League. Dave was a powerful fullback. He was also a Hawk, 78-80. He also played in the CFL with the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and that was highlighted by a Grey Cup championship in 1986. Jon starred 85-89. He was a team captain, he was an all-star, he was an MVP, and he led Laurier to multiple Yates Cup appearances, including a championship in 1987. Continuing his impact off the field, Jon later returned as a coach, helping lead Laurier to a Vanier Cup championship in 1991 and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2005. Please welcome the brothers, Dave, Jon, and Mike Graffi.
Okay. I'm Mike. I'm Dave.
I'm Jon, and we are the Graffi Brothers!
Good start. All right. Okay. Oh, this is pretty good. This is a great honor with my two brothers to be inducted into the Laurier Golden Hawks Legends of Football group. It's actually incredible. Now, I'd like to talk about a motion of football and how it compares to a motion of rowing. Football was my second sport in high school. Racing boats in the sport of rowing was foremost. I rowed at the St. Catharines Rowing Club, established in 1911, and where 2 World Rowing Championships were held. Briefly, most here don't know, I'm a 3-time Canadian rowing champ, a 2-time Canadian Henley champ, Canadian high school champ 4 years straight. 2 of those years were with my brother Dave in the boat. I'm also a 2-time American high school gold medals in Princeton and Delaware, 2 golds at the Independence Day Regatta in Philadelphia, represented Canada 3 years in both elite and youth world rowing regattas in Switzerland, Austria, and Montreal, placing 4th each time, and awarded St. Catharines Junior Rower of the Year in 1975. This is where you find your power. And I found my power in rowing. Now, why do I bring this up? Because the mechanics of rowing was so suited to the mechanics of playing linebacker at Laurier, a technique shown to me by Coach Knight and drilled into me daily by Coach Jeffries. The football stance back then was very, very low in a compressed position to gain leverage, drive up into the lineman. Just as in a boat, sitting on a seat with wheels that slide back and forth. So when you're at the top of the slide, knees pressed up against your chest, reach out as far as you can to smack the blade of the oar into the water, called the catch. Then drive backwards with the legs and back, finish the stroke by pulling the arms into your upper body and feather the blade out. It's one stroke. So you're compressing and exploding over and over and over again. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of times over my days of rowing, unknowing at the time that, in essence, it was preparing me to be Sam Huff linebacker. I'm sure my brothers Dave and Jon had benefited from their rowing days to transcend into playing football. So, the only difference I found was, in football, you finish this motion with a push, whereas rowing, you finish the same motion with a pull. Thanks to Coach Jeffries for coaching me at linebacker. Jeff, I found it easy to learn and improve with your way of coaching. I sensed a certain calm in your approach. Wasn't uptight, allowed me to make huge advancements in my play. So when finishing here after 3 seasons, there's no question, I was a true football player. Thank you, Coach Knight. To my fellow inside linebacker for 3 seasons, Rich Payne. We were a strong combo in the middle. Thanks for those times staying after practice with me to work on how to use the force of a blocking lineman against him. Most helpful when playing at the next level. And for being a friend to me in those great days. And now for the second third of this award, Brother Dave.
Thank you, Mike. You know, Mike always said, rowing was first and football was second, but he is a true football player, and you'll see why when I tell you in a minute. Thank you to the Legends of Laurier Football Committee for bestowing this honor on myself and my brothers Mike and Jon. I would like to acknowledge my family who are here tonight to share this honor with me, my lovely wife of 37 years, Debbie, my son Brandon, my beautiful daughter Dana, and her boyfriend Hayden. Congratulations to the other inductees. Your football resumes are outstanding, and this honor is well deserved by all of you. For me, this honor is even more meaningful because I get to share it with my brothers. I am very proud of both of you and your football accomplishments. Interesting story on how Mike and I came to Laurier. You see, Mike left high school to go play university football out east. I was in my last year of high school and was planning on attending Laurier in the fall of 1978. In the meantime, Mike was sending out letters to head coaches at different universities to ask for a transfer. And one of those universities were the Laurier. Tuffy himself spoke to Mike and said he wanted him to come to Laurier, and Mike accepted. Now, neither one of us said anything to each other about our intentions. I assumed Mike was staying out east, and I was going to Laurier to do my thing. So when we both arrived at training camp, we looked at each other and said, "What are you doing here?" What the heck? And so the legacy began. Mike had 3 great years as an inside linebacker alongside Richie Payne, 2 peas in a pod. But what's more remarkable is how Mike made it to the CFL. Mike was never drafted. He was out of football for over a year and a half, but he wanted to give the CFL a shot. So Mike decided to send out game film of himself to different CFL teams, and Hamilton was impressed enough to invite him to the 1982 training camp. Mike made it through training camp, plus all 4 preseason games, but was one of the final cuts. However, 4 days later, he was picked up by Ottawa, and that was the start of his CFL career. Kudos to you, Mike. Job well done.
Thanks, Dave.
Now, Jon. Jon, you were just in high school when Mike and I were playing in the CFL, and after high school you decided to follow our footsteps to Laurier. It must not have been easy trying to make a football name for yourself, living in the shadows of your 2 older brothers. But what a name you made as a player, an OUA All-Star, 2nd-team All-Canadian, as a coach, defensive coordinator of the 1991 Vanier Cup Championship team, a Golden Hawk Hall of Fame inductee. I'm so proud of you. You are a Laurier.
You got it, buddy. You got it. We're good. Breathe, man. Breathe. You got it.
Breathe. Yeah, breathe.
You are a Laurier football legend. And by the way, thanks for letting Mike and I tag along. For myself, when I received the call from Coach Galloway, I was both surprised and honored. Such an award brings about memories of your teammates, your successes and failures, and just about being part of the Laurier football fraternity. It is second to none. Thank you to all my teammates and coaches for making my 3 years at Laurier an experience I'll always remember. Now you can see that in my write-up, I was described as being a bruising fullback. Now, a bruising fullback doesn't make you an all-star or an all-Canadian or even get drafted, but apparently it does get you a roster spot on a CFL team. At this time, unfortunately Tuffy's not here, but I would like to thank Coach Tuffy Knight personally, for whom I believe was responsible for getting me a tryout with the Hamilton Tiger Cats in 1981, which led to me making the team and carving out a nice 6-year CFL career, all with the Tiger Cats. So in closing, it has been a great evening so far, sharing stories with my family, friends, and old teammates, and I do mean old. We are getting up there in age. I am grateful to now be part of the Legends of Laurier Football family. So now that it is official, I guess you can say that the Graffi brothers are truly legendary. Thank you very much.
Who's that guy? I want to first say, brothers for life. Let's hear it up there. Yeah, I'm going to try not to be like Dave. First of all, I'm very grateful to have my family here tonight. My wife, Stephanie. Yeah, I'm all choked up of you, baby. My kids, Jack, Julia, and Regan. It means the world to me that you are here with me to share this experience. Thank you very much, and I love you very, very much. A little change to what I was going to talk about, because just before we started tonight, a group of people walked in the door, and I'm like, what the? And it happened to be my entire work team. I didn't know they were coming. So I just want a little shout out to my team from Centrex, who I love very much, and they traveled all across Ontario to be here tonight, so thank you very much. Woo! I gotta keep this going, yes. So I want to thank, I think Dave already thanked Coach Galloway, Coach Van Moorkirk, Peter Izio, and the committee for selecting the Graffi brothers to be inducted into the Legends of Laurier Football. Thank you very much. It's a tremendous honor. I changed my speech probably about 40 times in the last 2 days. I thought, I was like Hoagie said there, I was inducted into the Hall 21 years ago, the Hall of Fame, Laurier Athletic Hall of Fame. I thanked a ton of people then. I'm not going to do that right now, but I do want to mention that Mike Choma was one of those guys who meant the world to me. He is my brother for life, and we're 46 years as brothers and counting. And Coach Jeffries, like, who hasn't, Coach Jeffries, had an impact on their life and career? So Coach, thank you very much. But I just want to, reach out to you because you mean so much to me and so many others that are here tonight. Coach, yeah. So I want to focus on my brothers, because who else can say that they are inducted with not just one, but 2 brothers? Sorry, Joey, you only had 1 brother last year. Who else can say, this is where I got to hold it in, who are being inducted with their sports heroes? There's a bit of an age gap, and you might not notice now, but there is one. So I partied. What do you mean? I look okay. What are you talking about? Gee, you said I partied too much. Nothing wrong with that. When I was 10 years old, these guys were like 18 and 17. They were superstars in football at high school, basketball, Dave, basketball, and Mike and Dave in rowing. And you could tell by Mike's accolades that he should have chose, he did a great career in football, but I think Dave and I will both agree that he was definitely an Olympian to be if he stayed in rowing, 100%. But they were my sports idols. And when they were playing from college football to the pros, I was watching every game on TV, and when I wasn't watching on TV, I was listening on the radio, and I was like anxious. I was like, okay, I'm waiting to hear it says, Graffi runs for a first down, and I'm waiting for here, Graffi in for a tackle. Like, I was that obsessed and wanted to see these guys succeed at that next level, where many of my friends had posters on their walls of Howie Long, Chomes, Joe Montana. I had posters on my wall of my brothers. To me, they were larger than life. they paved the way for me to come to Laurier football. But like my brother Dave said, follow in their footsteps. You're going to have, there was a lot of pressure. Like, it wasn't easy. Like, I'm like, okay, walk in the door, and you're going to be like, okay, you're a Graffi, you better be good. And I'm like, okay, I better be good. Like, shit. So, so it was some pressure there. But you know what? It motivated me, it inspired me. It gave me the fuel to be the best player I could be. And as a result, I was able to play for 5 years, coach for 10 years at Laurier. Hoagie mentioned some of my accomplishments. We won the 1987 Yates Cup. So these experiences that I had were unbelievable. The Yates Cup in 87, I was all Canadian in 88, and if Viron Stiliadis is here, I am not all Canadian without that guy in front of me. He was a rock. And then led to me to be a defensive coordinator in 1991 when we won the Laurier's first football national championship. Was an unbelievable ride, wasn't it, Jug? That was unreal. And I'm very thankful to my brothers for allowing me to have those experiences, and I will forever be with me. So in conclusion, I will have to admit that my brothers are better at football than I am. But I will tell you that today, Greg, you like this, I'm the better golfer. Thank you very much. God bless. Go Hawks, go. Johnny, there you go. Told you.